Vikings, let's win the game.
Vikings fan. There is no way to pretend this was just another ordinary week in Minnesota. There is serious buzz about a piece that could completely change how this offense runs the football. There is also a bold idea floating around about the future of the most debated position on the roster. The front office is staring down a heavy decision involving a major name in the locker room. Projections of 3 potential additions are fueling the dreams of fans in purple and gold. And in the middle of all that, there is one story that hits straight at the heart of who lives and breathes Vikings football. Some of these headlines affect what happens on the field. The last one goes way beyond that. Let's get started. We know when an offense needs help. This is not drama. This is cold, hard numbers. The Vikings' ground game finished near the bottom of the league rankings. There was no burst, no back who could flip the tempo of a game and force defenses to hesitate. That is where the buzz begins. The name that landed on the radar is Breece Hall. Yes, that Breece Hall, one of the most complete running backs in the league over the past few seasons. With his future with the Jets still uncertain, people have started connecting the dots to Minnesota. Hall recently said he is in that mindset of whatever happens, happens. That is not the tone of someone fully secure. That is the tone of someone who knows the market is moving. Let me be real with you. This fit makes a lot of sense. The team needs to take pressure off J.J. McCarthy. The passing game cannot carry everything. Aaron Jones has delivered, no question about it, but time catches everyone. Hall is young and can handle volume. He is also a legitimate weapon in the passing game. He has more than 3,300 career rushing yards and nearly 30 touchdowns. That production does not happen by accident. He runs between the tackles, bounces outside, and holds up in pass protection. He is the kind of player who keeps defensive coordinators up at night. And here is the bigger picture. When defenses load up on Justin Jefferson, who makes them pay? Hall could be that immediate answer. He forces opponents to respect the run. When the run works, the play action becomes lethal. Of course, there are salary questions. There is the possibility of a tag. There is no guarantee the Jets would let him walk. Nothing is simple. But when analysts start calling Minnesota a logical landing spot, that is not random smoke. That is a real need being recognized. This is not just about talent. It is about offensive identity. Hall brings edge. Hall brings consistent aggression. So let me ask you, would you bring Breece Hall to purple and gold, or would you roll the dice in the draft? Drop your thoughts, because if this first rumor already feels big, the next possibility is even bigger. But first, a quick favor. Subscribe to the channel. It is free, and it helps grow this Vikings community in a major way. Now let's keep going. Some trade ideas make you laugh. Others make you stop, fold your arms, and think. This one falls into that second category, because it involves shaking up the most sensitive position on the roster and pushing all the chips to the middle of the table. The name tied to this all-in-move proposal is Lamar Jackson. Yes, the 2-time most valuable player, one of the most electric players in the National Football League over the last half-decade. The suggestion would send J.J. McCarthy plus multiple first-round draft picks to Baltimore. That is not a minor tweak. That is a franchise-level pivot. Let me be direct. This is the kind of move that redefines an organization. Lamar Jackson has the resume. Most valuable player in 2023. He nearly did it again in 2024. Even with recent injuries, he still produces. More than 2,500 passing yards in a shortened season. Close to 400 rushing yards. He changes games with his arm and his legs. Now picture him throwing to Justin Jefferson. Just that image makes any fan pause. But let's stay grounded. The price would be massive. 3 first-round picks. A recent top 10 quarterback. A contract that demands immediate salary cap maneuvering. There is also the injury history. He has missed time. His playoff record is not spotless. Baltimore faces a contract situation with the cap hit north of $70 million if nothing changes. So this is complicated. Minnesota's offense would instantly become explosive. Kevin O'Connell would have a generational talent. The playbook would expand overnight. Defenses would have to account for every snap. But at the same time, you would be handing over future assets. You would be betting everything on a short-term championship window. I have seen this team swing big before. Sometimes it almost worked. Sometimes it hurt. This is not a video game trade. This is reshaping the franchise around a unique style of play. If the leadership believes the roster is ready right now, maybe this enters serious discussion. The question is simple. Do you trade patient building for immediate firepower? Because if this sounds like something out of a blockbuster script, what comes next is even more grounded in reality. It involves money, and a name many fans already wear on their jersey. The tone shifts here. This is not distant speculation. This is about paying the bills. The salary cap is tight. When that happens, someone feels it first. There is a major name at the center of this conversation, a respected player, a reliable middle-of-the-field target. T.J. Hockenson is right in the middle of it. Minnesota is projected to be more than $40 million over the cap for 2026. That is not minor. That forces action. There are recent signings that could be moved to help the numbers. But Hockenson is not an easy cut. Let me be clear. This situation blends logic and emotion. His cap number is north of $21 million. Last season's production dipped, just over 50 catches, fewer than 500 yards, 3 touchdowns. For that cap hit, scrutiny is inevitable. But context matters. The offensive line struggled. He stayed in to block more than usual. The offense lacked rhythm. J.J. McCarthy is still developing. Hockenson is the safety valve over the middle. Cutting him would free roughly $9 million. Helpful? Yes. Enough? Not really. Aaron Jones also factors in. Moving on from him could clear close to $8 million. Combine moves and you start reshaping the cap picture, but cutting Hockenson without a ready replacement is risky. You remove the most dependable intermediate target for a young quarterback. That affects confidence. It affects timing. Bleacher Report has suggested a restructure could be required. Adjust the contract. Keep the talent. Ease the cap hit. That feels smarter. Still, negotiations are never simple. Players want value. Teams want flexibility. The draft also plays a role. Minnesota owns key early round picks. If a tight end is selected early, that signals change. If the focus stays on defense and the offensive line, Hockenson likely remains. Let me know in the comments. Do you restructure and keep T.J. Hockenson or start fresh at tight end? This is not routine offseason chatter. This is about offensive identity, and if his name already carries weight, what comes next is about reshaping the roster in a much bigger way. If we are talking about cuts and cap moves, we also have to talk about dreaming big. Even with limited space, there is always that list of names that sparks imagination heading into 2026. This is not a promise, it is possibility. And some of these players would change the team from day one. One is Tyler Linderbaum, a young center, elite at his position, technically sound and powerful inside. If Ryan Kelly is not the long-term answer, Linderbaum would be an immediate upgrade. Pro Football Focus ranks him among the league's best. The cost? Around $20 million per year. That is serious money. On defense, there is Cameron Curl, experienced, physical, reliable in tackling. A safety who can patrol deep or step into the box. Not a superstar, but he raises the floor. Then there is Tariq Woolen, 6 feet 4 inches tall and roughly 210 pounds. Long and physical. Brian Flores values that profile. A corner who can challenge big receivers at the line. He is coming off a championship run. His value is high. Back to offense, Breece Hall appears again on that potential impact list. Everything we discussed earlier becomes even more real if he truly hits the market. Proven production, versatility, game-breaking ability, and then there is the bold quarterback discussion with Malik Willis. Young, limited sample size, but extremely efficient in 2025 in advanced metrics. The big question is sustainability. Can he handle 400 pass attempts in a season? Is he a long-term solution or a calculated gamble? Let me be blunt. This list shows the team understands it needs impact players. Small tweaks are not enough, but every one of these names carries a price tag between $10 and $25 million per year. Minnesota is already tight against the cap. That means restructures, releases, bonus conversions, financial gymnastics. If one of these top-tier names arrives, it signals belief that the team is one piece away. If not, the focus likely shifts to development and the draft. It all comes back to identity. Immediate transformation or patient growth. This list sparks excitement. It fuels hope. But the next story is not about hope. It is about loss. And you cannot just scroll past it like another headline. There are moments when football feels small. Cap debates, trades, free agents. All of it fades when the news is different. This one stunned everyone. Silence. Confusion, grief. The name that shook the building was Rondale Moore. He was only 25 years old. He entered the league as a second-round pick in 2021. He brought elite quickness and explosiveness. He posted more than 1,200 receiving yards across his early seasons. A dangerous secondary playmaker. Then injuries hit. He was traded. He suffered a major knee injury before debuting with his new team. He fought to return. He worked relentlessly. He eventually joined Minnesota during the offseason. The knee gave out again. Then on Saturday night came the devastating news. Rondale Moore passed away at the age of 25. That detail makes it even heavier. Kevin O'Connell released a heartfelt statement. He said he was devastated, and that even in a short time, Moore became someone the team cared deeply about. He spoke about heartbreak. That was not just a formality, that was real emotion. This goes beyond rivalries or statistics. The entire league responded. Teammates, former teammates, coaches, opponents. Inside the Vikings facility, the impact is quiet but real. Even without game action, Moore was part of daily life. Meetings, practice, conversations in the hallway. Those moments matter. The organization still has draft and free agency decisions ahead. But there are times you pause everything. You make space to grieve. You remember that behind every helmet is a human being. I have watched this team for decades. I have seen tough losses and season-altering injuries. News like this is different. It changes perspective. For a few days, talk of who stays or who goes feels distant. Because before he was a draft pick or a roster move, Rondale Moore was a son, a friend, a teammate. And that is what matters most when the noise settles. Take a breath with me. We talked about a potential run game boost. We talked about a blockbuster idea involving Lamar Jackson. We talked about a major cap decision with TJ Hawkinson. We talked about a list of players who could reshape the roster. Then we ended with something far bigger than football. This is where the Vikings stand right now. Ambition, pressure, humanity, all at once. Anyone who lives and breathes Vikings football understands that being part of this means feeling every high and every low. Big decisions are coming in the next few weeks, but the foundation has to remain unity. Drop a comment below because this space belongs to everyone who lives and breathes Vikings football. Stay tuned. SKOL Vikings, let's go!